Before we start off with the latest coming in from Italy, listen in to this reaction.
Certe volte anche il cuore dei banchieri centrali viene usato qualche volta.
Now that was Mario Draghi, the central banker turned Italian Prime Minister, was popular, but he suffered the same fate as his predecessors. Draghi was also brought down by Italy's unstable internal politics. Mario Draghi has often been pegged as the Eurozone's savior. In 2011, he was named to head the European Central Bank, and then a near bankruptcy in Italy risked triggering the collapse of the entire Eurozone. Draghi then pledged to do whatever it takes to save the euro. A year later, he did change history. He was credited with saving the currency. In 2021, Mario Draghi was summoned again, this time to lead Italy out of its worst economic crisis since World War II. The star economist was never directly elected, but Draghi was seen as the best choice. He was selected to revive Italy's stagnant economy. Draghi won the support of all political parties when he took office. He initially seemed to have the golden touch. He looked over an economic rebound at home, bringing a touch of gravitas welcomed by his fellow European leaders. But that was not enough for Italy's chaotic political system. The chaos erupted over the European Union-funded pandemic recovery program. The five-star movement was the first to trigger this crisis. It says its priorities of a basic income and minimum salary were being ignored. That forced Draghi to resign for the first time. But the president refused to accept this. And then there was a confidence vote, one that the Italian Prime Minister won. However, three of his largest coalition partners refused to participate. And this includes his predecessor, Conte's populist five-star movement, former Prime Minister Silvio Berlusconi's centre-right Forza Italia, and former Deputy Prime Minister Matteo Salvini's right-wing League. Italy has seen 6 prime ministers in the last 10 years. The prime ministerial term is set to expire in 2023, but the president could dissolve the parliament soon, and this will pave the way for an early election in September or October. Polls predict the far-right Brothers of Italy party will benefit from this. Firebrand Giorgia Meloni could become the country's first female prime minister. Meloni has called herself the conservative champion of patriotism. She even welcomed members of Mussolini's family to her party. Her party is polling around 22% for the polls, nearly the same as the centre-left Democratic Party in Italy. So Mario Draghi, Boris Johnson, two leaders who were the face of the West in the war against Ukraine and now have had to step down. And as Europe's political crisis grows, Russia has much to celebrate. Many are asking who will be next. And with us from Milan is Stefano Vergini. He is a journalist. Stefano, good to have you with us on the broadcast. Help us better understand, what does Mario Draghi's resignation mean for Italy, and what do you think lies ahead?
Well, thanks, Molly, for having me. There's the resignation of Draghi means a lot for Italy because, as you well explained before, it was the leader of a coalition government putting together right and left wing in order to basically trying to find a way out from the pandemic and try to manage the money coming from the European Union for the economic recovery. What lies ahead? It lies ahead much on a financial point of view. The big problem for Italy, as many people know, is its public debt, which is very high. It has been under control over the last years because of low interest rates by the ECB, but today the ECB raised interest rates for the first time over the last years. So now interest on Italian public debt could increase, and that would mean for Italy spending more money. Mario Draghi was deemed to be by the international community a sort of protector of Italian financial accounts, and we will have to see now how the markets will respond to a new government, which most likely, as you said before, will be headed by the far-right party, Brothers of Italy.
Right. Now, the timing of this happening is very interesting. The Eurozone inflation has been dominating headlines for the last few days. And Mario Draghi was himself once called the Eurozone savior. What does his resignation mean for Europe? What impact would it have on the continent?
As I said, it could have an impact on the financial stability of the Eurozone. Because Italy has the highest debt, the public debt on GDP in the European Union. So we'll have to see what the impacts will be on the markets. Concerning the timing of the crisis, so basically, as I was saying, Draghi was leading a coalition government formed in the name of national unity, putting together left and right wing. It all went okay for 1.5 years until now. And the crisis started because the Five-Star Movement leader, former Prime Minister Giuseppe Conte, started a conflict with Draghi over the last month. Conte was saying that Draghi was not doing enough, was not doing the right things, especially for poor people, by this meaning introducing a minimum wage. And he also was against the fact that Italy, and under the Draghi's government, was selling weapons to Ukraine. Draghi decided to open up to Conte's proposal, especially on the social issues. But this was not enough for Conte, that in the end he decided to not to vote in favor of the Draghi government. And the same did also, and this is something new, this is something quite unexpected, the same also was done by two right-wing parties, which are Forza Italia, led by Mr. Berlusconi, and Lega, led by Mr. Salvini. In other words, the government collapsed because beyond the Five-Star Movement, the two right-wing parties that were forming the coalition government withdrew their votes. That's why Draghi decided to resign.
Stefano, thanks very much for joining us on the broadcast and sharing those perspectives. Good to have you.
Thank you.
WION now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.